What's up, everybody? It's Howi Spangler, Tales from the Green Room podcast. If you thought about doing a podcast of your own, but you just weren't sure how to do it or where to go, let me tell you about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. It has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Distribution, Anchor's got it covered. You can be heard everywhere from Spotify to Apple Podcasts and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right now. If you've ever wanted to make a podcast, there's no more excuse to wait. Anchor's got you covered. Go check it out right now. Hey, good morning. How you doing? Good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of day you're listening to this, I'm Howi Spangler. This is Tales from the Green Room. This is episode number 94. We are slowly approaching that 100, that episode 100, and I got something really cool that's going down for episode 100. I cannot discuss it yet, but you will know soon enough. Episode 94, man, what a great year. 94 was my favorite year of all time. It was a coming-of-age year. I was turning 14. My body was changing. I don't want to get too graphic. But yeah, things started happening. And then 94 was the best year for movies and music. Best year, hands down. I mean, seriously changed my mind. You're not going to change my mind. It was Forrest Gump, The Mask, I think Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, right? Dookie. What else? I mean, there's a ton of stuff. Shawshank Redemption. 94 was the best, man. That Christmas, I mean, Kurt Cobain died. That sucked, you know. But that Christmas, we got the Nirvana Unplugged album, one of the greatest albums ever. I mean, such a great year. I kind of wish we could go back. I love embracing the future. But man, the movies and music, the quality back then was just unmatched today. They just don't make them like they used to, you know? Some of your thoughts on that. What do you think about 1994? Was it the greatest year of music and movies like I believe it to be? Or do you have other ideas? Okay. Just got back from the run with Eric Rachmani and Kyle Ahern and the John Dank Boys. It was a wonderful time. I really enjoyed myself. It was very cool to get out there again and just do the stuff on my own. I hadn't done that in a while. I've done a lot of acoustic shows in my life, you know, by myself, but you know, it was very different. I mean, I did this last summer, 2018, with the Meager Kings guys, and we went down to Florida and kind of hit the Southeast a little bit. And that was about 2 weeks, and it was great. I think, yeah, Mike Pinto was on that too. And it was great, you know, it was nice that was my first kind of outing solo with other guys that were like solo. And it was exciting, you know. And this time was even better. It was, you know, obviously Eric has a very big, lovable following, and a loving following. He is the singer for Revolution, and he brings out Kyle, his guitar player. They have a great story too. Like, Kyle got into the band because of a YouTube contest, I believe it was. Like a Jam with the Band contest that they do. I think they do it every year. And they ended up, Eric went back to him after he won when he realized that it'd be cool to have another guitar player in the band. And he asked him if he wanted to be in the band. It was wild. It's like one of those dream come true moments, you know? I always had that dream as a kid, like, Billy Joe hurt his arms eating pancakes. Oh, it was awful. He almost ate his hands. He's injured. He needs someone to play guitar for him for the tour. Would you like to join the band Howie Spangler and play guitar for Green Day? And that was the dream. So great for Kyle, man. What a great situation, and he's a good dude as well. The fame has not gone to his head, I can tell you that. But man, it was awesome. It was a great experience being in front of his crowd, and there was a lot of Ballyhoo fans there as well, which was great. A lot of people every night singing the songs, so that was wonderful. Because it was weird. Like the first night in Denver, I went backstage after my set, and Eric and the guys were like, "Man, they were loving it," and I was like, "Yeah, it was great." And they're like, "It's got to be weird going out there by yourself," because like Eric has Kyle, and then the John Dank guys, there's like 11 of them, so it's like everybody kind of leaned on each other, where like me, I'm just kind of by myself in the spotlight there. Got like 500 people just staring at me. But it was great. It was a little nerve-wracking at first, and I was jacked on coffee the first night because of traveling all day, a little jet lag. And I ended up having a great time, and every night was just a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody that came to those shows and bought my merch, like bought my t-shirts, and said what's up at the merch table. And it was just an all-around great experience. And traveling with them, and Brian, their tour manager, has shit locked. Took care of everything, and it was just a really fun experience. I hope they ask me to do it again at some point. So catch the rest of that tour on the West Coast, starting very soon. I believe it starts next week in Portland. And Ted Bound from Pacifier is actually going to be in my place for the West Coast. So he's got a great thing going on with his loop station stuff, and it's going to be a great show once again for the West Coast. So. I'm going to be at Secrets this Friday, December 13th, Friday the 13th, baby, with Brandon from Bumpin' Uglies. We're going to be playing acoustic together at Secrets for the Secrets / Ocean 98 radio station appreciation party for the listeners and the customers. And so come out to that. It's free. I'm not sure when I'm playing, but I'll announce that on the Instagram sometime this week, so pay attention. If you're around the area, Ocean City, Maryland, Secrets is a cool spot. And we're just going to have some drinks, and I got this sick jacket. Instead of a Christmas sweater, I got this Christmas bomber jacket. It's going to be dope. Come check it out. And then what else is going on? The YouTube channel, I only need 39,000 more view minutes in order to get monetized on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind, go watch some of the videos. I'll be going live and doing some more acoustic performances over the next couple of weeks. So I appreciate everybody that's watching and supporting on that front. I don't like to ask for money, I just figured this is kind of a cool passive way for you to support. Just watching the videos supports me, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that very much. But thanks everybody that's been watching and taking in all the content lately. I'm trying to be everywhere, and I just like making things, as you know. So today I'm gonna start the track by track series for The Force of Habit, the new EP that I just released 2 Fridays ago now. So in the first 10 days, we got 20K streams at Spotify alone. I mean, I was amazed, man. It hit #1 at iTunes Reggae. I was not expecting that at all. I thought maybe top 10, definitely top 20. I thought I was like, I'm good enough for top 20, I think it can happen. There's enough love out there. Then I was like, but maybe the top 10, that would be cool, I'm competing with Bob Marley's Legend and all the stick figure albums, it's like, and the Revolution album, with all these bands that do really well in that genre. And it hit #1. And it was there for, I think it was there for the weekend at #1. I can't remember now. But at least the first 2 days it was there for #1. I am so grateful and thankful for all of you out there that are supporting everything that I do. It means a lot. I did 1 week of promotion officially, leading up to that. It came together very fast, and I uploaded the night that I got the master back from Lander. And it's just, I don't know. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed, and it's kind of unreal, So thank you all very, very much for that. I'm going to keep putting out music, and Ballyhoo's got some new stuff coming out as well. We have a new single coming out next month, and I'll talk about that as soon as it's scheduled, because, you don't want to be premature about stuff. As soon as I have it uploaded and it's in the system with our distributor, I will announce all that cool stuff with Ballyhoo. We're also going out with Iration next in February after One Love in Long Beach, so get tickets for that. But yes, I digress. Back to the Force of Habit EP. This is the track-by-track series. I'm going over all the songs, how they all came together. I've been getting a lot of questions lately. What's this about? What's this about? And I thought this would be a fun way to do it. So, all right, enjoy. This is, we're going to talk about All I Ever Wanted, the opening track on the first Force of Habit EP. All right, here we go. Hello. Okay, here we are. The Force of Habit EP. So this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I was just I had these songs that were kind of like not fully done. Old songs that maybe we had recorded for old Ballyhoo records, but never made it for whatever reason. Ideas that I had in my head for a while. And I've been so preoccupied with the Ballyhoo stuff and working with like the Bumpin' Uglies, and I'm working with Educated Fools right now, and Callisto, and all these other projects. And I enjoy all of it, on top of family and stuff like that. I felt like, especially with this Eric Rachmani tour coming up, I was like, I got to have something to tour on, something to promote, something of my own. So I worked really hard, staying up all hours, and Danielle and the kids were very understanding, very supportive the whole time. So I thank them for that. And that sort of kind of comes into what this first song is about, All I Ever Wanted. So I wrote All I Ever Wanted actually back in 2007, I believe. And we recorded it for the Cheers album. We recorded like 21 or 22 tracks, something like that, for the Cheers album with Scotch Ralston. You know him from 311. He produces and engineers 311. He had hit me up on MySpace actually back in the day, just randomly. Hey, let's make a record. And I was like, what? And I recognized the name. I was like, holy shit, is this the real deal? And it was the real deal. So we got in the studio with Scotch Ralston and we recorded Cheers. So All I Ever Wanted originally was called All I Want. And I think I didn't really like the title back then, because I remember not liking it this time. Once I thought about it again, I was like, yeah, I'm not all I ever wanted. You're all I ever wanted, just like the chorus says. So let's keep it simple, So yeah, when it came time to make this EP, I started digging around in old demos and things, and I was like, well, shit, this was always a cool song. I always enjoyed this song. I like the post-chorus part about the, so special, like a four-leaf clover. You're all I've ever wanted in a girl. Like, I always loved that chord progression and the melody. Kind of made me think of the Beatles, for some reason. But, so it started out as kind of like a pop punk song. And it's the original version that we recorded for it was this, heavy pop punk song. And like, I don't know if it was just, we had so many tracks. We ended up with 18 tracks on Cheers. So it was one of those like, okay, I guess it was one of the expendable ones. Like we didn't need it on there because we already had so many other great tracks. And I guess unanimously it was like, all right, I think I wanted it on the record, but the rest of the band kind of vetoed it. They were like, we got these other ones instead, Looking back, we probably should have put this one on instead of what was the one? Oh my God, Cheers. Whatever you want and whatever you need, I'm at your service. Oh shit, I think it starts with a P. It's like the least downloaded, the least streamed song on the entire record. Pathetic. Yeah, it in fact had pathetic sales and streams. It still does to this day, I think. I always thought this song was rad. I really liked the melody of it, but it just was not popular. So maybe we should have put this one on instead. But looking back now, I'm glad that we didn't because I was able to re-record it in this acoustic form and release it on this album. And it's very cool that it's the first track. It opens up the album. I like how the top of it is just arpeggiated, just kind of starting on that D chord, and it just sort of sets up the vibe, I think, for the record. And I liked, I think I added tambo to it. I like having a little movement in the songs, and a tambourine or a shaker is great for creating movement between the hits. Sometimes I feel like it's like having a hi-hat on it, for a drummer. Like when a drummer's doing kick snare, there is definitely some moments where just kick and snare are great, for that part. But for the most part, the hi-hat helps create movement throughout the song and sort of creates the rhythm, changing the different the hit patterns on a hi-hat can really, determine the vibe of the song, really, to me. And so when you don't have a hi-hat or a drummer, you use the tambo to kind of create a little bit of movement and just get, just help with the feel, because sometimes even strumming on the acoustic guitar isn't enough to kind of convey this sort of, is this a faster kind of song? Is this like a more chill song? So I use a tambo to kind of make it feel like a mid-tempo sort of pop-punk song. So I wrote the song about my now fiance Danielle, almost wife. We're getting married in September. And this was when it was basically based on our first year together. I was just super in love with her, and still am. Just want to clear that up. And she was just very special to me, and we came out of we were both in relationships when we met, and those relationships didn't necessarily end in the right ways. I'll admit that, but here we are 14 years later, almost. Yeah, it was April 2006. So yeah, almost 14 years later. And we've got two beautiful kids. We're finally getting married, and it's people joke and they say, "Oh, you guys are doing it backwards," had kids first and then you're getting married. Are there really any rules anymore? Like I'm one that believes that we don't have to live by the rules, right? Like by the necessary. I mean, obviously, don't hurt people, things like that. Don't steal and be violent, and But when it comes to family, I mean, we just live in a different time. It's not the 50s anymore, and it's just the way it happened. Like I didn't even want to have kids until early 30s because I just felt like, I need every second and every dollar to go back into this craft, into the band, and to kind of build the career first. And when my first kid came along, my son, I was living in a town, or not, yeah, I guess it was like a townhome with this guy who was just a fucking slob, and his dog would, shit everywhere, and because he'd be gone all day. I think if you have an animal, you should be home at least for a few hours in the day, and so he'd be gone like 10 or 12 hours. And I just lived in my room I was just renting a room for like $600 a month. And like, complete piece of shit, when looking back. I was 29. No, I was 28 when I found out she was pregnant. And I was playing Arkham Asylum on Xbox 360 at like probably 1 in the afternoon. I guess I had off work that day because I was waiting tables and bartending at the time in Aberdeen. And so I was playing this video game. I was Batman. I was sitting in my bed, and it was the demo version. Like I didn't have enough money to like buy the actual game. I was just playing the demo version over and over again. And just trying to keep the dog poop smell from getting into my room, and with candles, and my room was definitely the cleanest room in the house. So I get this text, and it says, "I am pregnant," in all caps with like 13 exclamation marks. And I saw it, and I looked at my controller for my Xbox. I looked at Batman, and I was like, well, so much for that. I just put it down, and I didn't pick up a video game controller for at least another 6 years. Seriously, didn't start playing video games again until Dre was like 6. There's just no time for that. When I do what I do, live the life that I live, I'm going on tour constantly, because I was on tour a lot back then. When I found out he was coming, I called management at the time. I called all the guys in the band, and I was like, dude, okay, so this is happening, and we need to raise our pay a little bit, and we need to pick up some more shows, And so everybody was totally cool and supportive, which was great, because I was nervous calling everybody. I had to call everybody one at a time, And it was like the weirdest thing ever. And so we started picking up more shows, and I was touring like crazy, and then, oh man, wild. So I guess really what I'm saying is, like, all this time that I've been away from home, and Danielle's been super supportive of me and what I've been doing. And now that I have the podcast, and I'm working the YouTube channel, and the band's not touring as much. Like, we don't have to tour as much because we're lucky enough to where the money's gone up enough to where we can pay bills and sort of relax a little bit. Like, nobody's rich by any means, but we've gotten to a point where we can just sort of chill a little bit and take off when we want to. And the streaming money, we stream enough to where it actually looks like something every few months when we get those checks. But it was very scary back then. And I think I've always sort of been like, where someone else might be like freaking out about money or whatever. I was never really one to like really be that way. I just was always like, the money's going to come from somewhere. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to figure out how to get this money. And, I definitely took some loans from family and things like that to get by. And I was lucky to have family along the way. Everybody has a different situation, but, through all of it, Danielle was there, and, she put up with a lot. And, especially like dealing with the kids and everything while I'm away. So, so this song, All I Ever Wanted, was based off of all that. Just her as a person, and her, it was me, like, just I wanted to let her know how special I thought she was. And, so when it came time to make this record, again, I was listening to all this stuff and I was like, oh man, I should do that one. That'd be fun. And it still stands today, obviously, she's right here by my side and we're killing it. So thank you very much for being there for me, baby. I love you. So musically, it was actually originally in E. I started the song in E. And this version, I did it in D because, I think the way I sing in the chorus is it kind of gets up there. And so in E, it's a whole step up. So I'm singing a little bit higher, but I just felt like it was a little too aggressive, for an acoustic version. So I dropped it down a whole step to the D, and, it felt good. I sang through the song. I was like, okay, that'll work. And I just wanted to keep it simple, nothing too crazy. I think, like I said, I think it's just tambo and acoustic guitar. And I didn't go wild with the backup vocals, the harmonies, really on any of the record. I just wanted to kind of keep it chill, unless I felt like it needed something, to help with the emotion or something like that. But so look where we started. We're on our way. Baby, where would I be without you today? It's like, like I said, it felt like we had started a good thing when we got together, and we were just head over heels about each other. And I just was happy to be there, to be honest, because I feel like she's out of my league completely. She's so beautiful. And how did she end up with me? I think I was profiled. I think she saw how tall I was, and I've heard girls like tall guys. So, like, I feel like that's what happened. She's like, all right, he's really tall, and we're gonna have like good sized kids, good looking kids. I have like a European look, strong jawline, cheekbones. I don't know. Maybe that's all in my head. Maybe she didn't care about that at all. But so I just felt like we were onto something good, and I just always wanted to touch her and kiss her and just be around her, And so that was, and we were wild in our 20s, man. It was crazy times. Staying up until 6 a.m. playing Mario Galaxy on the Wii. This is, before the kids. So we'd go to Wawa. Like, I'd play a show, and then we'd go to Wawa at like 2 a.m, get a bunch of food, get one of the 64-ounce iced teas with the subs, and play video games and eat until 6 a.m. Then we wake up at like 2 p.m, and then we'd go do it all again, I think 20s is like the best time to just fuck off, to just live out all your crazy dreams and, just do dumb shit because you're like invincible, And there's so many dumb things that I did in my 20s for sure. And I'm just completely scared for my kids. I'm like, oh God, dude, don't do the dumb things that I did. So it was pretty much, that song's about just being in our 20s and finding each other and having wild times and having sex at 60 miles an hour while we're driving. What a dumb thing to do. So dumb, irresponsible. But man, at the time, it just felt like, this is amazing. It's just, this was a good decision. So stupid. So All I Ever Wanted is the first track on the record, The Force of Habit. And it seems like people are really enjoying that one. It's funny because, I thought people would enjoy it back then, back in 2008 when we released Cheers. I was like, this is going to be a great song. And it somehow got vetoed from the track list. But here it is, making its debut, and it's one of the more popular tracks. It's just fun. It's just fun to see that all those years later, I wrote it in 07, so 12 years later, it finally gets released. It's a good feeling. And again, it was the fact that this thing went number one for a few days. It was, I don't know, it just blew my mind. So thank you all for listening to that, taking it all in. Yeah, I guess that's it really. I don't know what else much to say about this one. It's just pretty cut and dry. I'm really proud of it. I thought it turned out great, and I'm happy that it's out now. So, all right. Well, that was number one. That was track number one right there. All I Ever Wanted, from the Force of Habit EP. I'll be doing more of these in the coming weeks, so pay attention. I guess next time we'll do Doing Work. I'm just going to go in order of the track list. We'll do Doing Work. That's got a interesting story there, so maybe a little bit longer episode for that one. But yeah, if you haven't heard the EP yet, it's called The Force of Habit. It's available everywhere. My CDs are coming today. They'll be here today, and I'm going to get the inventory and stuff together on the website. I've still got a few shirts left over from the tour, so if you'd like one of those, it's the first pressing of the t-shirts in the album theme, and I got a few left, so I'm kind of limited on sizes. I think it's only XLs and mediums, so I'll be look out for that probably today or tomorrow. I'm going to start putting that stuff on the Instagram to, for sale. So I'm thinking about signing all the CDs and then selling them on the website. So if you want to get 7% off, if you're an artist and you want to get 7% off on DistroKid, which is the service that I use to put the Force of Habit out. Look, listen, the Force of Habit, I use DistroKid to distribute it. It was a very simple process, and it made it to number one on iTunes Reggae. Okay, so it's wild to think what can happen. If you'd like to get, I'm not saying that DistroKid had made it easier to get number one. I'm just saying that you can use independent services. You don't have to be signed to a label to get these kind of numbers. I know that the reason why it went to number one was because of all of you. Because I've built this trust with you guys. And, even if you're not huge on the music, maybe you bought it just because you want to support me. It's wild. So if you want to get 7% off, click the link in the caption here, the description of the podcast, and it'll take you over there, and you can sign up and you'll get 7% off. And it was already only like $30. So just get a few more dollars off, and get your stuff out there. All right, cool. Well, stay tuned for episode 95. It'll be Doing Work, and I can't wait to talk about more of these songs. If you want to support the podcast, go to talesfromthegreenroom.com, hit the support the podcast button. If you would like to get some merch, you can head over to my store and buy some podcast merch. And hit me up on Instagram, Howie Spangler. And also the YouTube, Howie Spangler on the YouTube. Watch all the performance videos, and I have videos up there, if you didn't check them out yet, of me actually making this record. So I will be going live this week, and I'm hoping to have another hangout. I gotta have a procedure tomorrow, actually, or no, a procedure today. I gotta leave here in like an hour. I'm getting a procedure on my eye. It's this thing on my eyelid. It's really weird. I don't know. We're gonna have it removed today, so I don't know what I'm gonna look like for the live stuff. Anyway, everybody have a great day. This has been episode number 94, Tales from the Green Room. I am your host, Howie Spangler. Thank you so much for the support. See you soon.